Pretend you're sick and get out of here. Now, trust me, Grandma, please. I looked up at 15-year-old Maya sitting across from me. Her eyes were wide, pleading, terrified. She gave the tiniest shake of her head as if to say, "Don't ask, just go." My heart started pounding. Something was wrong, very wrong. If you've ever gotten a warning from someone you love and didn't know whether to trust it or question it, then you need to hear what happened next. Because what I discovered in the 10 minutes after I left that dinner table, it didn't just change everything. It saved my life. Don't go anywhere. This story will shock you in ways you can't imagine. My name is Margaret Wells. I'm 72 years old, and the night of November 15th started like any other family dinner. But by the time it ended, I would discover a betrayal so deep, so calculating, that it would shake me to my very core. Let me take you back to the beginning. I've always been close to my son, David. He's my only child, and after my husband Richard died 8 years ago, David became my whole world. He called me every day, visited every week. Made sure I was never alone on holidays. "Mom, you're not a burden," he'd always say when I protested. "You're my mother. You took care of me for 18 years. Now it's my turn." Those words meant everything to me. David married Christine 12 years ago. She was beautiful, polished, always dressed impeccably. A real estate agent who drove a BMW and wore designer clothes. I'll be honest, I never felt like I was quite good enough for her standards, but she was always polite to me, always smiled, always said the right things. "Margaret, you look lovely today. Margaret, this casserole is delicious. Margaret, we're so glad you could join us." I believed her. God help me, I believed every word. They had 2 children. Maya, who just turned 15, and Lucas, who's 12, my precious grandchildren, the lights of my life. I saw them every Sunday for dinner. It was our tradition. I'd bring dessert, usually my famous apple pie or chocolate cake, and we'd sit around their big dining room table, talking about the week, sharing stories, being family. It was perfect, or so I thought. About 6 months ago, things started to change. Subtle things, things I told myself I was imagining. Christine started suggesting we have dinner at restaurants instead of their home. "It's just easier, Margaret," she'd say with that perfect smile. "Less cleanup, more relaxing." But I missed their home. I missed the warmth of family dinner around a table. Then David started calling less. Not a lot less, just enough that I noticed. Instead of every day, it became every other day, then twice a week. "Sorry, Mom, work has been crazy," he'd say, sounding distracted. When I did see them, Christine always seemed watchful, like she was studying me, evaluating something. And Maya, my sweet Maya, she'd always been chatty with me, telling me about school, her friends, her dreams. But lately, she'd been quiet, withdrawn. One Sunday in October, I found her crying in the bathroom. "Sweetheart, what's wrong?" I asked, pulling her into my arms. She tensed up, then pulled away quickly. "Nothing, Grandma. Just teenage stuff. You can talk to me about anything, honey, you know that." She looked at me with those big brown eyes, and for a second I thought she was going to tell me something. Her mouth opened. Then she glanced at the bathroom door and shook her head. "I'm fine, really just drama with friends. I didn't push, I should have pushed. If you've ever ignored your gut feeling because you didn't want to cause problems, keep listening." Because that's exactly what almost cost me everything. 3 weeks ago, Christine called me. "Margaret, I wanted to invite you to a special dinner on November 15th, just family. David has some news he wants to share." My heart leapt. "Good news, very good news," she said. I could hear the smile in her voice. "We're celebrating something important. Can you come? 7 o'clock. Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world." "What should I bring?" "Oh, nothing. We have everything covered. Just bring yourself." I was so excited. Maybe David got a promotion. Maybe they were announcing another baby. Maybe they'd finally booked that trip to Europe they'd been talking about. I spent days thinking about what to wear. I bought a new dress, a soft lavender one that I thought looked elegant. I got my hair done the day before. I wanted to look my best for whatever they were celebrating. On the morning of November 15th, David called me. "Hey, Mom, looking forward to tonight." "Oh yes, sweetheart, I'm so curious about this news." "Can't you give me a hint?" He laughed, but it sounded off-strained. "You'll find out soon enough. Listen, Mom, I just want you to know, no matter what happens tonight, I love you, okay?" Something in his tone made my stomach clench. "David, is everything all right?" "Everything's fine. I'll see you at 7. He hung up before I could ask anything else. I stood there holding the phone, that uneasy feeling growing in my gut. "He's probably just emotional about whatever the good news is," I told myself. Stop worrying, but I couldn't shake it. I arrived at their house at 6:55, right on time. I was carrying a bouquet of flowers. Even though Christine said not to bring anything, I couldn't come empty-handed. Christine opened the door wearing a black cocktail dress and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Margaret." Come in, come in." The house smelled amazing: roasted chicken, garlic, herbs. The dining room table was set beautifully with their good china, candles, wine glasses. It looked like a celebration, but something felt wrong. David came out of the kitchen. He hugged me, but he held on just a second too long. When he pulled back, his eyes were red. "You okay, honey?" I asked quietly. "Yeah, Moms, yeah, I'm good." He wasn't good, I knew my son. Something was eating at him. Maya and Lucas were already at the table. Lucas was playing on his phone, typical 12-year-old, but Maya looked terrified. When she saw me, her face went pale. "Hi, Grandma," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Hi, sweetheart, you look beautiful." She was wearing a dress too, which was unusual. Maya lived in jeans and hoodies. She didn't smile, just looked down at her plate. We all sat down. Christine brought out the food: roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, dinner rolls. It looked perfect, but the atmosphere was all wrong. Christine and David kept exchanging glances. Lucas was oblivious, just shoveling food into his mouth. Maya wasn't eating at all, just pushing food around her plate, and me. I felt like I was sitting at a funeral, not a celebration. So I finally said, trying to sound cheerful, "What's this big news you wanted to share?" David and Christine looked at each other. Christine gave a tiny nod. David cleared his throat. "Mom, we wanted to have this dinner to talk to you about something important." "Okay," my heart was beating faster now. "You know we love you, right? You've been an amazing mother and grandmother." Why did this sound like a breakup speech? "David, you're scaring me. What's going on?" Christine reached over and put her hand on David's. "What David is trying to say is that we've been thinking a lot about the future, about our family's needs." I looked between them, confused. That's when Maya's hand moved under the table. I felt paper pressed into my palm, a napkin. I glanced at Maya. She wasn't looking at me, but her hand was shaking as she pulled it back. Slowly, carefully, I unfolded the napkin in my lap, below the table where no one could see, and I read the words that changed everything. "Pretend you're sick and get out of here. Now, trust me, Grandma, please." My mind was racing. What did this mean? What was happening? I looked up at Maya. She was staring at her plate, but I could see tears forming in her eyes. David was still talking. "And we think it's time to make some changes that will benefit everyone." I wasn't listening anymore. Every instinct in my body was screaming at me that something was very, very wrong. And Maya's sweet, quiet Maya was trying to warn me. I made a decision. "Oh," I said suddenly, pressing my hand to my stomach. "Oh my." Everyone stopped talking and looked at me. "Moms, you okay?" David asked. "I don't feel well, my stomach." I made my voice weak, shaky. "I'm so sorry, this is embarrassing." I stood up, wobbling a little for effect. I think I need to go to the bathroom, or maybe I should just go home." "Margaret, are you all right?" Christine asked. She sounded concerned, but there was something else in her voice. Annoyance, frustration. "I'm so sorry, I don't want to ruin dinner. I think maybe something I ate earlier." I grabbed my purse. "David, honey, I'm so sorry. We can talk about your news another time. I really need to go." David stood up. "Mom, let me drive you." "No," I said it too quickly, too forcefully. I softened my tone. "No, sweetheart, I'm fine to drive. It's only 10 minutes. I just need to get home to my own bathroom." You know how it is. I was already moving toward the door. Maya's eyes met mine for just a second. She gave the tiniest nod. Whatever was happening, I was doing the right thing by leaving. "I'll call you tomorrow, David. I love you all," and I walked out the door, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst out of my chest. I got in my car and sat there for a moment, hands shaking on the steering wheel. What just happened? What was I supposed to be getting away from? I pulled out of the driveway and drove down the street, but instead of going home, I pulled over 2 blocks away and parked. My phone was in my purse. I grabbed it with trembling hands. Should I call Maya? No, if something was wrong in that house, Christine and David would see her on her phone. I sat there in the dark, completely confused and terrified. Then my phone buzzed, a text from Maya: "Thank God you left. Don't come back, I'll explain everything. Give me 20 minutes, then call me. Use FaceTime." My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type back. "Are you okay? Are you safe?" "Yes, just trust me." 20 minutes, I looked at the clock, 7:34 p.m. 20 minutes felt like 20 hours. I sat in that car, watching the minutes tick by, my mind spinning with possibilities. Was David sick? Was someone dying? Was there some kind of danger? Why would Maya need to warn me? At 7:54, my phone buzzed again. "Okay, call now." I'm in my room with the door locked. With shaking hands, I pressed FaceTime. Maya answered immediately. She was crying. "Grandma, I'm so sorry. I'm so, so sorry." "Maya, sweetheart, what's going on? You're scaring me." She wiped her eyes and took a shaky breath. "Grandma, I need to show you something. But you have to promise me you won't do anything crazy. You have to promise me you'll be smart about this." "Maya, please, just tell me what's happening." "Mom and Dad were going to trick you tonight." My blood went cold. "Trick me? How?" "They were going to get you to sign papers. They made it look like a celebration dinner, but it was a setup." "What papers? I don't understand." Maya's face crumpled. "Papers to put you in a nursing home, Grandma. And papers to make Dad your power of attorney so they could sell your house." The world stopped. I couldn't breathe. "What?" "I found the papers in Mom's office 3 days ago. I saw everything. They've been planning this for months." But But why? I'm healthy. I live independently. I don't need. It's not about need, Grandma. It's about money. And then Maya told me everything. According to the documents Maya had found, Christine and David had gotten themselves into serious financial trouble. Christine's real estate business was failing. She'd made some bad investments and owed over $200,000. David had been laid off from his job 4 months ago, something he never told me, and they'd been burning through their savings. They were about to lose their house, but I had something they wanted, my house. The house Richard and I had bought 40 years ago, which was now worth over $600,000 in my savings. About $180,000 that Richard had left me, plus my own retirement funds. Mom found out that if Dad became your power of attorney and you were declared incapable of independent living, they could take control of everything, Maya said, her voice breaking. They found some doctor who would sign papers saying you have early dementia. But I don't have dementia. I know, that's why this is so evil, Grandma. They were going to trick you into signing papers tonight, telling you it was something else, like emergency contact forms or something. Then they were going to use those papers to put you in a home and sell your house. I felt like I might vomit. My own son, my own child was going to steal everything from me and lock me away. Maya, how do you know all this? I heard them talking about it 2 weeks ago. Late at night, they thought I was asleep. Mom said she won't even know what she's signing. By the time she figures it out, it'll be too late. And Dad said. She started crying harder. What did he say, sweetheart? He said, she's old. She'll be fine in a home. This is about our family's survival. My heart shattered into a million pieces. Keep listening. Because what I did next, well, nobody saw it coming. After Maya hung up, I sat in my car for over an hour, staring at nothing. My son, my beautiful boy who I'd raised, who I'd sacrificed everything for, was going to betray me. The woman he married was manipulating him, and they were going to take everything from me. My home, my independence, my dignity. They were going to lock me away like I was nothing, like I was a problem to be solved. Finally, I dried my tears, started my car, and drove home. But I didn't go inside. I drove past my house and went straight to my lawyer's office. Gerald Morrison had been handling my affairs since Richard died. His office was closed, but I knew he lived in the apartment above it. I called his cell phone. Margaret, is everything all right? Gerald, I need your help tonight. It's an emergency. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in his office telling him everything Maya had told me. His face went from concern to absolutely furious. Margaret, what your son is planning is called elder abuse. It's fraud. It's illegal in every possible way. Can he do it, though? Can he actually pull this off? Gerald shook his head. Not if we act first, but Margaret, I have to ask, do you want to pursue legal action against your own son? Did I? My heart said no. He was my baby, my only child, but my mind knew the truth. If I did nothing, I would lose everything. What are my options? I asked quietly. Gerald worked through the night. By morning, we had a plan. First, he drew up an ironclad living will and advance directive, explicitly stating that I was of sound mind and that under no circumstances was anyone, including David, to make medical or financial decisions for me without my explicit written consent. Second, he helped me move all my money into a trust that couldn't be touched without 2 trustees signing off, and neither trustee was David. Third, he drafted a restraining order ready to file if David attempted any legal action against me. Fourth, and most importantly, he arranged for me to be evaluated by 3 independent doctors, neurologists specializing in dementia, who could provide documentation of my perfect cognitive health. If David tries anything, Gerald said, we'll bury him in documentation proving he's lying. But there was one more thing I needed to do. I needed to confront him. I needed to look my son in the eye and ask him how he could do this to me. The next morning, I called David. He answered on the first ring. Mom, are you feeling better? You scared us last night. His voice was so concerned, so caring. If I didn't know better, I'd believe him. I'm feeling much better, honey. Listen, can you come over today? I want to talk to you about something important. A pause. Of course, is everything okay? Everything's fine, I have some questions about estate planning and I thought you could help me. I could practically hear his smile through the phone. He thought he was winning. I'll be there in an hour. Perfect. Come alone, though. I know Christine is busy with work. Actually, she wanted to come help, David. My voice was firm. I want to talk to my son. Alone, please. Another pause. Okay, Mom, I'll see you soon. I hung up and took a deep breath. This was it. When David arrived, he was carrying flowers and wearing that concerned son expression. Hey, Mom, you really had us worried last night. Did I? I asked calmly, leading him to the living room. Or were you just annoyed that I left before you could give me papers to sign? His face went pale. Mom, I don't know what. Don't. My voice was sharp. Don't lie to me, David, not now. Not after everything. He stood there, frozen. I pulled out the folder Gerald had prepared. Inside were copies of the documents Maya had photographed, the nursing home applications, the power of attorney forms, everything. Maya found these, I said quietly. She told me everything. David's face went from pale to gray. He sank onto the couch. Mom, let me explain. Explain, my voice broke. Explain how you were going to trick me. How you were going to take my home, how you were going to lock me away. It's not like that. Then what is it like, David? Please tell me, make me understand how my son could do this to me. He put his head in his hands. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, we're losing everything, Mom, and he told me. Everything Maya had said was true, the debt, the job loss, the desperation. Christine said this was the only way, he said, his voice hollow. She said you're old, you'd probably need a nursing home soon anyway. She said this way we could save our family and you'd be taken care of. Taken care of? David, I'm 72, not 92. I'm healthy, I live independently. You were going to rob me of my life because you made bad financial decisions. I know, he looked up at me, tears streaming down his face. I know it's wrong, Mom. I've known it's wrong this whole time. But Christine kept pushing and pushing, and we're about to lose our house and the kids, and I couldn't see another way. So you were going to sacrifice me? He had no answer. I sat down across from him and pulled out the second folder. This is what's going to happen now, I said, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. I have moved all my assets into a trust. You have no access to them. I have 3 medical evaluations proving I have no cognitive impairment. I have a living will stating my wishes. And I have a restraining order ready to file if you attempt any legal action against me. David's face crumpled. Mom, please, I'm not finished. My voice was steel now. You and Christine nearly destroyed my life. You were going to take everything from me, and worst of all, you were willing to let me think I was losing my mind. Mom, I'm so sorry. Maya saved me. Your 15-year-old daughter has more integrity than you do. She risked your anger to protect me. She's the hero in this story, David, not you. He was sobbing now, shoulders shaking. Part of me, the mother part, wanted to comfort him. But the survivor part, the part that had almost lost everything, stayed strong. I love you, David. You're my son and I will always love you, but I don't trust you anymore. And I don't know if I ever will again. What does that mean? He asked, his voice small. It means you need to leave now. It means we're done with Sunday dinners. It means I will see Maya and Lucas when they want to see me, but you and Christine are not welcome in my home until I decide otherwise. Mom, please. Don't do this, we can fix this. You did this, my voice rose for the first time. You chose money over your mother. You chose to lie and manipulate. This is the consequence of your choices. David left my house that day broken. And I cried for hours, but I also felt something else. Relief, power, freedom, because I had taken control of my own life. The next day, Christine called me. She was furious. You had no right to turn David against me. I didn't turn him against you, Christine. His own conscience did that. We needed that money. Do you understand? We're about to lose everything. Then maybe you should have asked for help instead of trying to steal from me. You're selfish. You're sitting on all that money while your own family suffers. My money, I said calmly, that Richard and I worked 40 years to save. My house that we bought with our sweat and tears. My life that you tried to steal. And I'm the selfish one? She hung up on me. I never heard from her again. But Maya I heard from every day. She called me that night, crying. Grandma, Mom and Dad are so mad at me. They know I told you. Are you safe, sweetheart? Yeah, Dad won't let Mom do anything to me. He's different now. He keeps apologizing to me. He said I was right to tell you. Do you want to come stay with me for a while? Can I? Of course, my darling girl, always. Maya moved in with me the next week, just temporarily while things cooled down at home. But having her here, it filled my house with light again. We painted her room together. We cooked dinners. We talked about everything. And one night she said, Grandma, I was so scared. When I found those papers, I didn't know what to do. I thought about telling Dad, but Mom had him so convinced it was the right thing. I almost didn't tell you. What made you decide to warn me? Because I imagined it was me. I imagined being old someday and my kids deciding I wasn't worth keeping around, and I knew I couldn't let that happen to you. I hugged her so tight. You saved my life, Maya. You know that, right? You saved mine too, Grandma. You showed me what it means to stand up for yourself, even when it's hard, even when it's family. 6 months have passed since that horrible dinner. David calls me once a week now. Short calls, awkward calls, but he's trying. He and Christine separated 3 months ago. He finally saw what she was, what she'd turned him into. They lost their house, but David and the kids moved into a smaller apartment. He got a new job. He's rebuilding. And slowly, very slowly, we're rebuilding too. He came over last week to help me fix a leaky faucet. Maya was here doing homework at the kitchen table. Mom, he said quietly while we worked, I'll never be able to make this right. I know that, but I want you to know, I see it now. I see what I almost did, and it makes me sick. I know, honey, Christine is still telling people you're the villain in all this. That you ruined our family. What do you think? I asked. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. I think you saved yourself, and in doing that, you saved me too, because if we'd gone through with it, if we'd done that to you, I don't think I could have lived with myself. We finished the faucet in silence, but it was a good silence, a healing silence. Lucas came to visit me yesterday, just him riding his bike over after school. Grandma, can I ask you something? Of course, sweetheart. Why didn't you hate us after what Mom and Dad tried to do? I pulled him onto the porch swing next to me. I did hate it, Lucas. I hated what they planned. I was so hurt and angry, but you still see us, you still love us, because you are not responsible for your parents' choices. Neither is Maya. You two are innocent in all this. Mom says you're being dramatic. She says they were just trying to help you. I took a deep breath. Lucas, someday you'll be old enough to understand the whole truth. But for now, I just want you to know, adults sometimes make very bad choices. And when they do, it's okay to say that was wrong, even if those adults are your parents. He thought about that for a while. I think what they were going to do was wrong, he said finally. Me too, buddy, me too. Today is May 20th. 6 months after the dinner that changed everything. I'm sitting on my porch in my house, drinking coffee and watching the sunrise. My house that I still own, that nobody took from me. My independence that I fought for, that I protected. My dignity that I refused to lose. Maya's still staying with me. She says she wants to finish high school living here. David agreed. I think he knows she's better off with me right now. We've turned into quite the duo, Maya and me. She teaches me about TikTok and helps me with my phone. I teach her to bake and tell her stories about her grandfather. We protect each other. And maybe that's what family should be, not the people who share your blood, but the people who would risk everything to save you. Last week, I got a letter from Christine. She's living with her sister now. She didn't apologize. She just said, you were supposed to be a grandmother who helped her family. Instead, you chose yourself over your own son. I hope you're happy being selfish. I read it once, then I threw it away because she still doesn't understand. Protecting yourself from people who want to harm you isn't selfish. It's survival, it's strength, it's self-respect. And any woman who's made it to 72 in this world knows, sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most are the ones you have to protect yourself from. I think about that dinner a lot, about sitting at that table, sensing something was wrong, about Maya's shaking hands slipping me that napkin, about the words that saved me, pretend you're sick and get out of here. What if I hadn't listened? What if I'd dismissed her warning? What if I'd trusted the adults in the room instead of the teenager? I'd be in a nursing home right now, confused and alone, wondering how I lost my mind so quickly. My house would be sold. My money would be gone. My life would be over, all because I trusted the wrong people. So here's what I want you to take from my story. If someone you love tries to warn you about something, listen. If your gut tells you something is wrong, trust it. If people are pressuring you to sign papers, slow down and get a second opinion. And most importantly, protect yourself, even if it means protecting yourself from family. Because elder abuse is real, financial exploitation is real, and it usually comes from the people closest to you. The people you trust most, the people you never imagined could hurt you. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for having boundaries. Don't let anyone convince you that protecting your assets is selfish. Don't let anyone take your independence just because they think they know what's best for you. You are not too old to matter. You are not too old to have rights. You are not too old to stand up for yourself. Maya just came downstairs, sleepy-eyed, asking what's for breakfast. Pancakes, sweetheart, with chocolate chips. Is there any other kind? She grins, that beautiful, brave girl who saved her grandmother's life, and I feel my heart fill up with gratitude, not for the family I thought I had, but for the family I actually have, the ones who see danger and sound the alarm, the ones who choose truth over convenience, the ones who protect love instead of exploiting it. If you found this story valuable, share it. Share it with every grandmother, every elderly parent, every person who might be vulnerable. Because knowledge is protection, awareness is defense, and stories like mine can save lives. Subscribe to this channel for more stories of survival, strength, and standing up for yourself, no matter your age. Leave a comment. Have you ever had to protect yourself from family? Or has someone saved you from a situation you didn't see coming? And remember, your age does not determine your value. Your age does not make you disposable. Your age gives you wisdom, experience, and the right to be treated with respect. Don't ever let anyone make you forget that. My name is Margaret Wells. I'm 72 years old. I'm a survivor, and I'm still here in my own home, living my own life on my own terms. Because one brave 15-year-old girl wrote 10 words on a napkin, and I listened. Thank God I listened. Until next time, remember that sometimes the youngest voices carry the most important warnings. And the most dangerous betrayals come wrapped in the word family. Stay strong, stay aware, and never ever stop fighting for yourself. God bless you all.